Basically, in hair transplant, two main process: harvesting or implanting. No, I'm not going to talk about FUT or FUE, the difference between the two. I'm going to try and cover the different names that you hear in various videos from various consultants, clinics, and in the marketing video. So some surgeons, while harvesting, they implant simultaneously. Some surgeons partially harvest, partially implant. Some surgeons harvest, leave the grafts in that same area. There could be many more terminology which I have not mentioned here. That all of these are adaptation of either the harvesting step or the implanting step. Hello everyone. So today let's talk about different types of hair transplant. No, I'm not going to talk about FUT or FUE, the difference between the two. I'm going to try and cover the different names that you hear in various videos from various consultants, clinics, and in the marketing video. So let's go one by one, and I will try to help you all understand what each of these names mean. So basically, in hair transplant, we all know that there are two main processes. One is harvesting and the other is implanting. So harvesting is the process by which the hair roots are plucked from the donor area. It could be from the back of your scalp, it could be from beard, it could be from the body area. Second is implanting. The harvested hair is put back into areas of baldness or areas where you've lost hair or where you want to improve density. So these two are the two important steps. Now, all the fancy names that you hear with different videos and different clinics are all adaptation in process or steps during either harvesting or implanting. And each surgeon, because of these adaptation, are able to deliver better results. It's important that you understand that they are not extremely different steps. They are adaptations in techniques either in the harvesting step or implanting step that alter or give better results. It could be in terms of density, it could be in terms of placement, direction, viability of the graft, many reasons, right? That's how the results differ. Why it is important that you understand is that there are still surgeons who still follow the original technique and are still able to give you the same great results. So please understand, it's not just the names, these fancy names and adaptation, and to tell you that okay, I'm using this technique, I'm using that technique, that's going to give you the result. It's not that. It is the capability of the surgeon, experience, adaptability of each of these variations or modification to suit that particular individual that is going to decide your result. What are the modification in harvesting? First, it all started with manual punch. So the punch, by manual rotation, the surgeon drives this punch into your skin and the root is harvested. So the next modification was harvesting by using a micromotor. So instead of surgeon rotating the punch, which is like a pen, there is a micromotor. So the micromotor has a handpiece which can be attached via a cable to a base, or which can be without a cable with a chargeable battery, and then this handpiece has a tip and this tip is loaded with a punch. It is these punches that go into your skin to drill the hole around the graft, and the graft is harvested. So what are the modification in this punches? So you have blunt punch where the tip is just blunt, or you have sharp punch where the tip is sharp, it's like a needle. Then you have modification of these sharp punches. You can have serrated edges, you can have trumpet edges, and various other modification from surgeon to surgeon or from clinic to clinic. From micromotor, the next thing that evolved was some automation of these steps. It can be the complete FUE process can be automated, or just the harvesting process was automated. So then there came the robot, right? So that is what is robotic hair transplant. Instead of surgeon holding this handpiece of a micromotor and driving the punch into your skin, there is a robo which actually does this job. So that is what is robotic hair transplant. So how does the robo identify where to punch? There is a laser which comes out of the tip, and that identifies the melanin in the hair, and so that helps the robo to punch the roots. So obviously when we shifted from manual human computer to actual computer, it improved the efficiency, speed, etc., etc., and they did a good job, right? So this is how evolution and techniques, adaptability with new instrument they come. Now with robo, when a surgeon or a clinic installs a robo, there is a huge cost involved, because these robos cost 10 times or 100 times the cost of a micromotor, and so that cost is going to be added to your hair transplant technique, with a little benefit in terms of time, etc. Now the time is because the surgeon can leave the robo to do the job, and surgeon can meanwhile do other work. So that way robo is advantage. And you have different brand names of the robo. It can be partial automation, full automation. So you hear Artas, Hars, NeoGraft, etc., etc. So these are all brand names. So now you have harvested the graft. Now still there are more adaptation. So some surgeons, while harvesting, they implant simultaneously. Then that is a different technique. Some surgeons partially harvest, partially implant, and then that came a different name for that. Some surgeons harvest, leave the grafts in that same area, because they feel that it's being bathed by its native blood supply, and so the time of graft being outside is less, and that helps in survival. So these are all again adaptation of harvesting technique. That is, you either harvest and implant simultaneously, you harvest, keep it in some special solution and then implant, that's a different technique. Or you harvest, that is you punch, but don't remove the grafts, leave it on the scalp, and then just before implantation remove them and implant. Some remove all the grafts together, some remove batch by batch and then implant. All of them come with different names, right? So if you Google, you will see hundreds of names, but all of them are the same technique. There is harvesting and there is implanting. So there is adaptation of this technique. Once the grafts are harvested, many surgeons make pre-made slits, which means they decide on the areas to be covered, they mark the areas and they make slits. Some surgeons make the slits before they start harvesting, so the number of grafts required is already calculated by these slits. The slits could be done by different types of instruments. There are needles which make these slits bigger, a little bigger than a normal needle. Then there are sapphire tips which make these slits. Then there are different types of blades which make these slits. Any of them, each one come with different name. So that's how you hear 100 names. So it's not a different technique. It is an adaptation of implantation method, which has, and they have patented it, and that's called by a name. So then we make slits and then this is implanted. So this is called slit and place. So this is a technique. Next, there is a technique called stick and place. So which means the every graft that's implanted, a needle stick is made into the skin and the grafts are planted. So this is called stick and place. First one was slit and place. Then came the implanter. Implanter is like a pen where the tip of the pen is loaded with the graft. So basically this slitting and placing is done simultaneously, right? So you put the pen inside, which is loaded with the graft, and then you press the button and the grafts are implanted. So this is called DHI. So DHI, it's not just an implanter, that is graft and implanters. So DHI also adopted the technique of simultaneously harvesting and implanting, so that the grafts are harvested on one side and implanted on the other side. So it's that involves a lot of practice and position of the patient and etc. Now, so having understood all of these terminologies, right, there could be many more terminology which I have not mentioned here, but please understand that all of these are adaptation of either the harvesting step or the implanting step. Now, what is the difference at Tamira? So at Tamira, we actually adopt all of these techniques and we decide for whom it should be applied, and even in the same individual, we may do the hairline with stick and place because it helps us more control, the angulation is better, placement is better. Then we use some DHI with the implanters. Sometimes we also add slit end placement. So all of these techniques are adopted just to make sure that the end results are great. So here's a video for you all to understand what's all the different terminologies that you hear, and not get carried away by these terminologies. You have to do an extensive research to learn the adaptation. Let me tell you, there are still surgeons who just use a manual punch and who just use general stick and place and are able to deliver great results.